Are you stressed and filled with anxiety like I am? Maybe in a bit of pain from that car accident you had a few years ago? Well, the sponsor of today's episode, Hempville CBD, has us covered. They have the highest quality products created by chemists and doctors. Hempville carries everything from CBD to THC dispensary grade without those despicable dispensary prices. Order your Delta 8, 9 edibles and vapes along with the THCA flower and get free shipping when you spend $50 or more at hempvillecbd.com. Check out the link in the description for more details.
Welcome to the Filmistines, the podcast where we discuss all things movies. Join us as we dive deep into the latest releases, revisit classic films, and explore the art of cinema. Whether you're a film fanatic or just love a good flick, we've got you covered. From Hollywood blockbusters to indie gems, we'll be breaking down the storytelling, the cinematography, and everything in between. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and get ready for some cinematic magic. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/Filmistines. We offer tiers at the $1, $5, and $20 level, where the $5 tier will grant the ability to request films for future episodes. This is the Filmistines, where movies are more than just entertainment, they're an experience. And welcome back to another episode of the Filmistines. Thank you for tuning in today. Glad you guys can make it.
Thank you for making it.
I'm joined today by my club and friend, Lucy.
Hello, everyone.
You can join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for brand new episodes of the Filmistine. Some recent episodes include When Evil Lurks, The Passion of the Christ, Sound of Freedom, Mice of Men, the 1992 one, and What's Eating Gilbert Grape. But today we are discussing the 1999 classic, David Fincher's Fight Club. Well, we watched it. We watched Fight Club, and I guess I am reporting back that it's okay. It's got the very annoying late 90s, early 2000s music and shooting style. There's really not a lot we can probably add to the conversation of Fight Club, and I don't know if I care enough about the movie to even begin to, but I am curious about what you have to say. What are some hip-fire shots of Fight Club?
Well, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I guess there were a few things I liked, but overall, as a movie, it didn't speak to me. Maybe I wasn't the target audience for this because, goddamn, it was boring. It took a while for it to get started for me. I just remember the first 5 minutes just being like, God, I hope he turns it off. But then we got to the support group thing when he meets Marla, or I guess right before he meets Marla, and that was pretty interesting. And then he meets Marla, and then it lost me completely, pretty much. I think I would have enjoyed the twist that, he was Tyler the whole time. If I would have been captivated the whole time, if I would have been into the movie, then I probably would have been like, oh my God, he's Tyler. You know me, I'm a sucker for plot twists. I did like that the movie looked really dirty. It gave me the Seven vibes, which I do enjoy that movie a lot. So, there's that. There's a tiny little plus to this movie. I think the performances were okay. They were decent. Nobody was lacking really anywhere. And is it Edward Norton? Is that our main guy?
Yes.
I liked his voice. I think he had a nice voice for his narrating.
Okay.
But the story, the point, the cohesiveness, pretty much everything that makes a movie just hit home was lacking.
What was the point?
I have no idea. To bore me to sleep. Don't buy shit, because if you do, you're not gonna feel. I don't know. If you hate your job, quit it. Go beat up some people to feel something. No clue. All men are secretly homosexuals. I don't know. There's a point there. Somewhere in there. I know there is.
Yeah, I'm kind of stuck between this this tone of, is David Fincher making fun of masculinity and people who think they have society figured out more than than the functioning present society, or I almost said David Lynch, or
Wow.
David Fincher's the rest of his filmography, because he's not really a funny guy.
Right.
No, I don't think any of his other films, I haven't seen all of them. I've seen most of them, maybe with the exception of one or two. I haven't seen Mank, but they're not funny. They're kind of ultra uber serious.
Yeah.
And not in a melodramatic, theatrical way either, but just, I guess in a kind of crime, and that maybe makes sense why he does a lot of crime films, is it kind of, all of his films kind of take that serious crime angle. But I can't get away from the fact that this film feels like it's making fun of how gay masculinity is.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of sexual tension.
Yeah.
In many of these scenes, and not just the fighting scenes.
Yeah. The closetness, the discovery of connecting with other men on a deep level, finding emotion and feeling in that, the soap, the borderline rejection of heterosexual intercourse. It's just a little oddly, specifically gay man. And I kind of wish it embraced it a tinge bit more, because I feel like it would have hit home a little more, but it may have been also a little bit more offensive to someone. I'm not sure. The masculine, I guess, community, the people, the
manly men,
the Ubermen would have been a little more offended. Kind of the fact that they're the secret, kind of praising of each other's masculine achievements is just kind of a funny thing, I guess. But so I'm just a little stuck between a rock and a hard place, if you will. And it's probably, nothing new that's been really said before. I haven't looked too deeply into Fight Club. But I have seen that it's a widely studied film. It's just a little odd because it's not very deep, I don't think, in anything it has to say. It's very kind of on the nose and maybe a little messy at places, and it works if it is trying to be funny, but its tone just totally blurs it out, where I can't really quite get to the nut of it. So I will say I did like a lot of it, just not together. So it's kind of hard to score in my mind, too.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
And I definitely liked the therapy AA style meetings in the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
The intro is very good, I thought. It was hard to get a grasp on where things were going, but that, can happen in a 2+ hour movie. You have a longer introduction a lot of times, especially when you have a high octane movie like this. It's just like, what is going on and stuff. And I like the introducing of Helena's character, Marla, right?
Yep.
I think that's really fun and everything, but it just, when Tyler gets brought into the fold, it's just doesn't hit quite right. And I knew about the twist. It's one of those twists that everyone knows about.
I didn't know about it.
That's one reason I wanted you to watch this movie, because you hadn't known previously, or you didn't, it didn't hit like it could have at one point in my life, or should have, which I think I'm pretty immune to that, even if I know, because I recognize earned setup.
Yeah.
Earned
You're a smart
payoff.
Individual.
And it's there here, so it's like, I can't help but to appreciate it, and especially knowing it while watching it. I'm looking for, characters not knowing who Tyler really is and stuff, and it's, obviously mostly kind of projected through Helena's character, when she's just like, what the fuck are you talking about all the time? Every time we think she's talking to the main character. I guess he's just called the narrator, right?
Yeah, a lot of people were calling him Jack.
Yeah, he was Jack on set. That's what
Oh, okay. That was confused.
I think that maybe is what it said in the script, actually. I think that's what David Fincher maybe named him, or I'm not sure if it was Edward Norton or not. But he's the everyday man, which we get a little bit of a
How is that the everyday man?
Well, it's the everyday kind of idealistic man in the 1970s and 80s. It's this, businessman. He's got a 401k, maybe
He's got
decked out in IKEA, hallucinations. When I was, after watching this, the first thing that kind of popped in my mind was, I wonder what David Foster Wallace would have to say about this movie.
Mm.
Because he's a real character into the effects of modernity and TV and things that are kind of supposed to make you feel a certain way. So I don't know. He may have written about this film. I'm not actually sure, in 1999. But I like a film that has something to say about consumerism. I like a film that has something to say about fascism. I like a film that has something to say about some kind of radical movement. That's a pretty easy get for me. I'm like, the film can be pretty low key, under budget, no name director or actors, and these things can pop up, and it's definitely gonna be like, all right, I gotta put that on my list, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's like a monster movie for me. If it's got a giant monster, it's going on my list.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm with you too on giant monster, especially if it's a kind of a unique giant monster. I'm like, all right.
I'm all for giant monsters. I don't care if it's unique. I don't care if it's a dinosaur. I don't care if it's a T-Rex. Again and again and again. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm good with T-Rexes. I'm fine. Had my T-Rexes. A good shark movie is always welcome, no doubt. That's a very special place. I'm waiting for that great Yeti Sasquatch movie. I'm good. I'm good with Trolls. Had a great Trolls movie. I'm good. I'm good with Godzilla. I don't need Godzilla anymore. I'm good with King Kong. Things, big apes and monkeys. I'm fine.
Keep them coming.
I'll probably watch them too, but they're kind of guilty pleasures for me too. Especially in the new Kong versus Godzilla, where Kong sits in that big chair. All right, you've got me for the rest of the series. Him sitting in that big chair with the people.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. It's great visual. It's very video gamey or something. I don't know. Something really satisfying about seeing that, even though it's 100% CG. It's like, I don't know what that is. That's funny. That's probably the best part of that movie too, when they go through the earth and everything at the very end. Right
yeah, that was cool.
But I'm really, I want to. It's, I guess, Fight Club lives in the space of my mind. So these are, I guess, more than anything, really preliminary thoughts. I'm gonna have to sit with this movie for a while, and I might have to give it another watch at some point, another year or two. Just let things kind of marinate in me, and it's kind of frustrating because I want to like this movie.
Why do you want to like it? Just because of those themes? Or because
everyone
everyone likes it?
I mean, sure. And everyone likes it. There's a little bit of that, of course. I guess that's part of the thesis of the movie, though, is being, falling prey to just kind of trends, I guess.
I guess. I guess.
And of course, it's just, I don't know why it doesn't work. Of course, it's great that, we have someone like Brad Pitt representing this person who is trying to deconstruct the modern man, and he is the perfect representation of the idealistic modern man at the time, at least, and as his heyday, late 90s, early 2000s. And so it's kind of funny. I don't know, it keeps building this narrative that it's supposed to be funny, but it just doesn't come across like the director here, David Fincher, knows that it's funny, or else he's just got a weird sense of humor. It's as dry comes. A desert's too wet for him, and so I don't know. I'm really in a funny. I'm stuck in a really funny rut with this movie. It's been a few days since we've seen it now, and I just cannot get away from it. And I know how influential it was in cinema, and just, I don't know, it almost feels like a call to action movie.
Call you to do what? Destroy debt companies?
As,
don't let your materials consume you?
Yeah.
All we saw was an IKEA catalog.
Mm-hmm.
Go fight someone? Let your frustrations out? Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how the fighting, the rediscovery of feeling again evolved into a terrorist group.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's weird.
It's very weird.
And I can't help but to feel like it's making fun of people who think they have it, like people as in a movement, some kind of political group, organized people who think they have it figured out better than what's already actively, being exercised and practiced in society, whatever that looks like in whatever country. And there isn't an actual manifesto here. We have just a radical, self-imploding group that's just, I guess he even says it in the movie, Edward Norton's character does, where any of these groups across the country are so committed that they at any point can kind of take a life of its own and kind of transcend out of Fight Club group or whatever they call it, Project Mayhem, and so I just cannot get away that that's funny, but it doesn't feel like that you think is funny. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like in Barbie, it feels like Greta Gerwig thinks it's funny. It's not very funny because I don't think she's...
I don't feel that.
Well, I think the presence of Will Ferrell and Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie, or I guess, really just the presence
Will Ferrell.
That's all you really need. I think the presence of him helps hit that home on paper. Now, in the movie, it's not very funny, but I think, I guess the little girl too, the high schooler, I think what she has to say is just so insane that you can't help but to at least smirk at it, at least on paper. Maybe not in execution, but it feels like it's kind of along those lines but even in a worst case with David Fincher, that he's so not funny that we just can't, like in the soap thing. Are you joking me?
Yeah, maybe I am surprisingly too happy with my life to enjoy this film. Or maybe I enjoy my job a little too much for this film. Maybe the type of mental problems I have aren't psychotic enough. My anger, I let it out when it needs to be let out. Whether I want to or not, it just comes out. And I guess, I try not to let materials consume every being of my life. I try to keep a healthy balance, I guess. I'm not a hoarder.
What about the conveniences and vices of just modernity in general?
It is what it is.
It's where we are.
We can't do anything about it. And why would we want to? What are you going to do?
Yeah, that's a lovely point. The movie kind of rejects and forgets that these things they allow us to live any life we want. They allow us to not have to be forced to risk our lives providing just food and the little bits of shelter that we could, 15,000 years ago, 20,000 years ago.
I love the convenience of my iPhone. Oh my God. I would get lost going to anywhere in town.
I guess I'm kind of the belief system that it's less, yes, you can be a slave of certain things on your phone and maybe the phone itself in some lights, but it's more than anything an extension of your brain at this point.
Exactly.
So
just keep it healthy, guys. Keep it healthy. If you're spending an hour on TikTok, maybe put the phone down.
Yeah. You just struck a chord. The movie forgets that people have free will. And you don't have to go all in on...
It's not all or nothing.
It's not an all or nothing situation, although the internet will have you believe otherwise. But we see people go from, I guess, hating their lives to rediscovering what it is to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, again, it just makes me think that it's making fun of, extremists in a variety of ways.
You said it. If this guy made a lot of other movies like this, then yeah, we could follow that. We could agree with that. And it might be a better movie if that was the thought behind it. But I don't think it is either.
Yeah, I don't know. And he's not, he doesn't have to make uber serious movies all the time. Steven Spielberg made Jaws and Schindler's List, but he also made BFG and Indiana Jones.
God damn. That's the worst movie ever made. I tell you what. Talk about putting me to sleep.
Yeah, Indiana Jones sucks. Oh my God. And there's some humor, I guess, in Aliens 3. Okay, there's a tinge of funny there, but
I don't think I watched that. Did I? I think I only watched the first
two. I
the
think
first two. Yeah.
so. I don't know. It's just I'm just so stuck on that thought. I gotta flesh that out. I guess I need to read some thoughts on it to help me.
Yeah.
It
might
won't
help you.
it won't make me like the movie more, but it will place it a little better in my mind.
Okay.
Because this movie's not. The only thing I think that's really exceptional about this movie is some of the dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what makes a movie. You know, the performances are good, but they're not.
They're not Leo being mentally challenged.
Yeah, they're not Brendan Fraser in The Whale or anything.
Yes.
You know, the delivery is just not on the proper level. It's on a fine, great level, but it's just this movie's just not for me. I mean, it is definitely how it is.
I think it is what it is. It's not for us.
Yeah, which I guess I feel like on paper this movie should be for me, but in execution it definitely is not.
Because you're a male with modern masculinity problems / consumer.
I'm a relatively thoughtful person who likes thoughtful movies.
Oh, gotcha.
But maybe that's so. Maybe that I don't know. Maybe that's not
the problem.
That's the problem. Maybe that's the problem. Yeah, exactly.
Another thing I wanted to bring up was, what was the point of Marla? To help us get the reveal?
Yes. As far as filmmaking goes, yeah. I think the point of Marla was to help, build the picture of rejecting women and that this particular woman helped unlock the just right amount of repulsion for our main character to discover his homosexuality.
Wow. Yeah, because Tyler emerges right after she starts taking over his, support group thing he's got going on. Yeah, she was in the movie way too much for that to be the only point.
I will say almost every time she was in it, maybe every time, there was this, like in retrospect at least, or for you, but while I was watching it, because I already knew that he was Tyler, I could see that she was just kind of there for the confusion of, but, what are you talking about constantly? Like, why are you saying the things you're saying?
Yeah, but it was too much.
It was a lot. Yeah, it was more than setup, and it kind of got away from her being the catalyst for, coming out of the closet. There is something else to her, but I'm not sure what it is. And then I guess the end would imply that he was wrong about his sexuality. It was kind of just a phase.
Oh, yeah, because they're holding hands watching all the explosions. I probably would have liked it better if he died.
I think he does die. I think that... Well, I guess it's up for interpretation, but I think the bombs were in that building too.
Okay.
So
he will die.
He more than likely was about to die. Yeah. And
okay.
She was too.
Okay.
And all the guys who were going to get medical supplies. That was funny at the end there. They're like, "Are you okay? Do you need help right now?" It's like, no, I'm good. I did like a lot of the nitty gritty production of it all, with all the guys working and stuff in the house, and like there's just a lot of moving parts, and it's really fun to see that on camera because I know how hard that is to control and to make that happen. It's really cool seeing that, and I like the factory nature of what they've got going, their operation. It's fun. The extreme. It's like they're terrorists, and they're making soap, and and they're spreading their ideology. It's it's spreading faster than the main character can even keep up with, because we find out that he's going days in, day out as Tyler, right?
Yeah.
Which I don't know. Maybe it would have been a little funner if Tyler kind of displaced the main character, and we were just like, what happened to him? And then you can kind of, it's left up for interpretation that the main character was, or I should say that the narrator was a figment of Tyler's imagination, or that Tyler kills him or something. Like, it just kind of disappears at one point in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tyler's just left. That would have, I don't know. I don't know about that. I think about that. But kind of just replacing him towards the last 25 minutes.
I think I would have liked that better. But I guess him finding, because, he finds out he's Tyler by trying to find Tyler. So something would have had to be changed there. But
the reveal was kind of
weird.
Not very good, because it was
Stupid.
exactly what he's trying to find Tyler, and in that process he comes to terms with that he is Tyler, and it's not very smooth.
Yeah.
It's not slick or anything. It's a little, I don't know. Not completely sold on the execution of that.
Yeah, I was confused, really, on how he found out. Just because some guy called him Tyler accidentally or something. Yeah, it wasn't smooth. But like I said earlier, I did like how dirty this movie is.
Mm-hmm.
I did like the bruises, the blood, all that nasty stuff, like the fat falling out of the bag when they ripped it. That was pretty cool. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it definitely, the violence and everything was very cool. It was very well done. It was surprisingly well done, actually. I'm surprised people don't look back at this movie as being more influential than fucking Matrix. This movie's, like, as far as like action goes, way cooler than the Matrix. I don't know why Matrix is looked at as some kind of seminal piece.
At least I stayed awake, kinda.
Yeah, Matrix, you didn't stand a chance.
No way.
Matrix is so bad.
And I did like some of I know you said briefly that it had a lot of, of the 90s filmmaking techniques here, but I did like some of the kind of commercial looking shots, especially the one in the trash can. That was pretty cool. I liked it.
The one in the trash can?
Yeah. They did one. I think it was a trash can or like the Starbucks cup or something. They did several throughout.
Like the close-ups? The extreme close-ups?
Like the zoom in, and like you would zoom in and kind of ride with the trash.
If I saw it, I'd know it probably.
Yeah, if you saw it, you'd know which one, what I'm talking about. But that was it was very 90s, but I liked it.
Yeah, the close-ups on like little things, like I remember, I guess the last one I remember in the final parts of the movie was when the narrator was trying to undo the bomb, and it was like the camera was moving throughout the bomb and stuff. I'm just like,
it was a scene like that, but with a trash can.
But okay. Yeah, there were a few of those, and those are so stupid.
I know. I like the trash can one. I'm telling you.
Those are so funny. They feel like, I don't know.
They feel like you're at an amusement park. That's how I feel. Like how a 3D ride would make you feel at Universal or Disney, like those I don't know what you call them, motion rides, where you just sit on a thing and there's a screen around you and it moves you. Well, I guess the ride moves you, but the screen moves you, so you think you're in a ride.
Yeah.
Like that. That's what it made me feel like.
The faux roller coasters.
Yeah, faux roller coaster.
Yeah, that was probably the funniest part of the movie, when the sack of human fat got torn open and poured on one of the characters.
That was cool. Yeah, I don't know about funny. It was definitely cool. Yeah, I don't know if I have a favorite part, a favorite scene.
Yeah, mine was definitely just the A meeting style things. The beginning part there was fun, and
that was the best part.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm just like, I want to like it more, but it's just not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. I'm a little frustrated with, why is this such a studied film over some others? Maybe it was just a time and place kind of thing. 1999.
Maybe.
With Gen Z. I mean, with Gen X, and the kind of come to Jesus moment of kind of post-structuralism.
Yeah, like that little speech he gave in while they were under in their little fight club. How he said that they're men of, I don't know what he called them, men of something, and they weren't part of a great big war, and I'm butchering it all up, but you know what I'm talking about.
They didn't have a great war. They didn't have a great depression.
Yeah.
We're going through a spiritual war, and our lives are depressing.
That one, that speech.
The depression is our lives.
Maybe we're all used to the depression now.
There's absolutely something to be said about that for sure.
We're all friends with our anxiety, or by we I mean us, late millennials,
younger than 50.
Well, I was just talking about late millennials and maybe 30 or younger. You're best friends with your depression and your anxiety. But people before us, older than us, have a real hard time with that. Whatever I'm trying to say.
It's a very David Foster Wallace thing, man. And he's the kingpin in all this for sure.
Yeah, so maybe we need a Gen X, a 30, 35 plus year old person to write in and tell us how they feel about this movie. I don't know how old they would have been in 1999.
Yeah, the sweet spot probably would have been the 20-year-olds, 20-plus-year-olds at the time. Okay. So they'd be about 40 or so.
All right, 40-year-old plus. Tell us what you thought about this movie. Because we're confused.
Sort of.
I'm confused. He's not confused, apparently, now. I'm just kidding. But I'm confused. Explain it to me.
All right, man. Do you have a budget guess?
I do. And this one was hard, too. They're all hard. I feel like I say that about all of them. And I was going to look up the Matrix budget, but I didn't want to look up the Matrix budget in case we ever cover the Matrix. So I didn't want to spoil it for myself. So I didn't look it up, and I went completely blind, and I went 20 million counting for inflation.
20 million counting for inflation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that doesn't sound right.
I'll let you re-guess if you want.
No, go ahead. I have no idea what I would re-guess.
It says here that it was 63
shit.
to 65 million, so you're
way off.
You're quite a bit off. It went on at the box office. It went on to make 101 million.
Wow.
So after renting and everything, yeah, that movie's gone on to make quite a bit of money, probably.
That's good.
Because I wonder. I guess I'm kind of curious. In 1999, late 1999, when it came out, was it a big hit or did it take some time? 100 million. It sounds like that's a mild hit.
A good hit or a bad hit?
A mild hit. Brad Pitt is one of those really expensive guys. 1999 though, 1998 when they paid him, I'm not sure, because I could see him being like a $30 million billing. That's half of their budget, so that would end up they'd have to make a lot of money to recoup that. But I'm not sure. But yeah, cool. I just want to ask, why is this not on Disney Plus? You know what I'm saying?
Why would this be on Disney Plus?
It's a Fox property. Simpsons is on Disney Plus. Where's Fight Club?
Yeah, they don't want to expose children to this violence and.
Well, they just put it under the MA, rating, and you know how children, you have to make an account for mature content like that.
Yeah, I think you do.
So they can just do that, right? I don't know. Thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, man, thank you for watching this film and talking about it with me. I don't really know if we straighten anything out for me. I think it's just gonna take some time with this, and it's just not. It doesn't speak to me enough in the right ways for me to, kind of place it on in that top echelon of movies that kind of live rent free in your mind. It's not there. In a week, this is probably gonna be forgotten forever. So
yeah, it's already been forgotten for me. But you're welcome. Thank you for trying to keep me cultured.
Yeah, it's an important film, no doubt, to the landscape of film history. I'm glad we finally got to this. We've had 23 years and we're here. We did it. We were.
Woo.
Remember, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you can catch new episodes of the Filmistines. Go over to our Patreon. Drop by, give us $1, write a comment. Just say something vulgar. I don't even care. Anything at this point.
I care.
Leave nice reviews on Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts and YouTube, though, so I'd appreciate that.
Well, maybe they can leave nice reviews for me and be vulgar towards you.
What if they said, that's a nice fucking podcast? That's kind of vulgar and nice.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. I guess that could work.
But until next time, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Filmistines. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on our cinematic journey. We hope you enjoyed our discussion and gained some new insights and perspectives on the world of movies. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform, especially Patreon at patreon.com/Filmistines, and follow us on social media for more film-related content. We love hearing from our listeners, so if you have any feedback, suggestions, movie recommendations, or book recommendations, please feel free to reach out to us. Until next time, keep watching and keep loving the magic of movies. This is the Filmistines, signing off.